Alright, hello everyone. Put my mouse away. Welcome back to another cozy art video. You can probably already tell I have some new props set about. I just scrounged my room for nostalgic things to find, and they're also good talking points, so that I don't run out of ideas. So, but I already do have talking points today, so because I've written some down. But if I do run out, it's good to have these here. So, you know, just stuff to talk about. But I'm gonna get right into it. Now, in my last video, or my last art video, I feel like I didn't do as much drawing as I was explaining two characters, which I was explaining them just so you can get an idea of what the world was, and I guess it worked out. But again, I didn't draw the character. I didn't draw Ivan Carvingham like I said I would. Well, I did, but it was kind of rushed. So in today's video, I'm not going to be talking about them much or at all. And I'm going to be drawing Ivan, the girl cop, and Tom, her brother. All three of them in one video. If I can do that in less than 2 hours, then that'll be nice. But I do have a Sprite, so it should keep me awake. It's just gonna be a chill night, and I'm gonna do some drawing, try to bring up some topics. So I'm just gonna get right into it. With the first topic, just move these a little. Just gotta figure out which one I want to do most. Right. Sit up a bit. Put my phone over here. Alright, so I'm just going to start drawing Ivan first. I'm going to try to do it better this time, because I kind of rushed it last time, to be honest. Like I said, I did a lot of explaining who he was, or... no, actually I spent the first half of the video, I spent like 40 minutes talking about the bird guy, Ozzy Wright. So I spent like a lot of time with that. And that video was supposed to be about, well, not Ozzy, right? But I guess it's because in my first actual art video, I drew Ozzy, but I was talking about myself, because it was my first video. But yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to explain these characters as I go. But I feel like since that was my first video, I kind of threw off that little schedule thing a bit. So, oh well. I think it's going good. But now I'm just gonna draw all three of them, since I feel like that'll give me a lot to draw, and more to talk about as well. I do have a couple good topics. I just so much I have. Just don't really know which one works right now, but I guess any of them work, because this is me talking video, or So I think I mentioned in one of my more recent art videos, or my last art video, I only have 3, that we had a couple of pets at home. We had quite a bit. So I guess I want to talk about them and how they kind of affected my life, because I actually did quite a bit. So German Shepherds run in like my entire family's bloodline. Like, so my dad had one, his dad had one, my grandpa, and then the great grandpa. It just goes on and on. It like I said, it runs in our bloodline, which is awesome. So I think the first dog we had, which was when we were in the house with our stepmother. Also, a funny thing, I guess I'm going to be referring to these ways because we moved like a couple times in our life. So we were children, so we kind of just called the houses that we moved to by their colors. So this house that we moved into, it was a white house, so that's what we would just say. We would say, oh, remember that white house that we moved into. But again, we moved into the more than one white house, so this is not right at all. This anatomy is horrible. Um, so that wouldn't actually be the White House, because the White House, okay, not the government building, guys. The White House was one where we lived with just Dad, and he had a couple girlfriends. Oh my gosh, there's so many pets we had actually. I want to say the first, because obviously we had a lot of like actual memorable pets, but the first like actual pet that was ours, it was a German Shepherd. I think it was a King German Shepherd, and that's when we were living with. That was in our third house technically, the one that our parents were renting off of our uncle. That I don't really know what kind of house to call it. It was just, I'm gonna call it the. I don't know what to call it, because like if I say the White House, because it technically is white, but it's like, oh no, you were talking about the one before that one. So I just refer to it as because it was it was a place before I got here. Okay, this apartment. It's where I lived before I got into this apartment. So I guess that's just good context. I don't need to call it by anything. So that's when we had our first like pet. Technically I had 4 pets, but like I said, and it was a King German Shepherd named Remy, and Remy was like we got, I think it was a long time ago, we got him off of a like this farm thing. My dad would know more about it than I do. But we got off this cool lady at like some farm. I don't remember. I think he just adopted it or something. And Remy was awesome. He was like I said, he was a King German Shepherd, and he was just a rowdy fella. So we had him for a very long time. Had some very nice memories with him. Yeah, he was a really good dog. So this guy's anatomy is very, very bad. Give me 1 second. There we go. But Remy was like, he was an awesome dog. We were kids, so we would just play around with Remy in really dumb kid ways. Just how we kept pissing him off, and how Remy became kind of a, just, he was still a loving dog, but he didn't like us kids as much, because we were just troll him all the time. So as kids we would, we would play around with his ears, and he was adorable. So we loved having him at the time, but we were kids, so we were freaking stupid. It's like we knew how it felt about us. So, but it was nice. He was our first ever good dog, so I would say it was very, very nice having him around. Hang on, this guy's anatomy is so horrible. Actually, what the hell? I do not know what I'm doing here, guys. Hang on. But yeah, that was our first pet, kind of, in that house. I'm saying all this like in past tense, because I don't want to make the video depressing and all that, but we didn't keep him, obviously. So, well, I don't want to get into detail, but we just you have to put dogs down when you have to put dogs down. But I'm just gonna say it very simply. I disagreed with why we did it, but that's all I'm gonna say. I don't want to get into it. I'm just gonna get into our second dog that we got. Actually, no, it was Remy first, and then I think during when he was alive, we also got a cat as well, and that cat's name was Ace, and Ace was it's just your average house cat. He was just, we would play around with him a lot, and he just would chill. It's like he was just the cat. He was just doing cat things. But yeah, Ace was awesome. And then our stepmom decided to get another cat off of this farm thing. I forgot what it was. So we had 2 cats. I can't remember if we got that second cat. I think we got the second cat after Remy passed. And that cat's name was Jack. So we kind of named him after cards, which was kind of cool. That was I think our dad's idea was naming the cats after like cards. So we had Ace and Jack, and they were pretty good. But since Jack was born on a farm, he actually carried this like some sort of this disease. I forget what it was called. And he spread it to Ace, and then Ace passed away, which was kind of sad. I remember like it, it was sad because I remember going home and just seeing him laying on his little cat bed, just just laying there. But it like I said, I think it was in one of my videos where I said cats are just like so vulnerable to disease and all that stuff. Cats are just like I feel so bad for them when it comes to that stuff. 'Cause they cannot freaking dodge it, especially in their older days. And we got Ace when he was already like kind of an adult, so it's life. It's a cycle of life. And then we had Jack for a while after that, and Jack was no. It's hard to remember the timeline because we had another German Shepherd. I think that was. Oh, it's hard to say. I think that was when Ace passed. I could be wrong. I don't remember actually. But that dog's name was Bear, and he was the most adorable tiny black German Shepherd ever. He was just this little baby German Shepherd, and he was awesome. He was just really cute, but he had so much energy. Like that dude is a demon. So we would take him on many walks, and I think the main issue with Bear is that he wasn't potty trained, so he would just crap everywhere in the house, and this became routine to clean up after him in the morning. Because he would take several deuces, and I would wake up and be like, God, I already know that Bear is trashed the kitchen again. So it's like, that's the main thing that he struggled with. Was also this is like a really good hand. Was potty trained, so I don't think we should have just taught him that, but whatever. Like I said, we had a lot of pets. We just kept getting more the more we lost. So yeah, Bear was nice. Bear, I think. Yeah, that's right. Bear actually had, I think it was a stroke or something. I can't remember. But he would have horrible strokes, and we just had to put him down as well. I know this video is getting very depressing, but it's hard to mention all these pets because we didn't keep like any of them for. We kept them for long, but pets are just. I mean, I guess we just got very, very, very unlucky. Like we got so unlucky. I feel bad for my dad and my stepmom for just all that. It's just like Jesus. They can't even keep a pet, so. My dad was just. I felt so bad for my dad because, like, well, I mean, he wants German Shepherds. He wants to carry on this legacy, kind of, and he freaking can't. So it's like, ugh, it's very, very frustrating for him. But anyways, we had Jack for a while after that. I think we just had Jack after Bear, and Jack lived down for a while. But Jack also carried that same farm thing, that farm disease. I keep forgetting what it was. It was something, and he wouldn't pass away when I was still with my parents. When I moved into this apartment, he was still alive, and he was with our dad and stepmom. So he lived a very nice life with them, and he would pass too, because my dad would call me and say, "Oh, yep, Jack has passed, unfortunately." So, but they have a new cat now. I don't think it's from a farm. I forgot what card they named after. It could be like King or something. I would forget. So I hope it goes well for them because it's hard when you just can't keep a pet for as long as you would want. But to get out of the depressing stuff, we had an absolute lot of pets, even before the dogs as well. Before the dogs, I think the main pet we had, it was when we were in the house before the house I was just talking about, which was the White House. The house we were already in was white. We call this place the White House. It was on a very nice street that had like a lot of squirrels and a lot of trees. It was a nice area. It was a really very nice area of where we lived. That's the only way I remembered it, is just how cozy it was over there. Cause it was a very cozy area, and it was right next to the schools that we went to. So it was a very nice area. And I think I remember when our dad was with one of his girlfriends. I think that one of his girlfriends had a son, and he became kind of our stepbrother. He was really cool. I don't remember anything about him now because I mean, gosh, it was so long ago. But me and him had some good times. He would watch videos at the night, because and I would teach him about our art and all that. I don't even know if we were doing art, because our art was in a very like minimal stage. But I remember like very specific moments in the house of our art, like my brother's first creation of certain creatures, or our first creation of like paper dolls. Just really, really niche stuff that I remember, and our first creation of our actual characters. That we didn't do comics yet, but I think we did start to do in that house. No, we didn't do comics in that house. I remember now. We did comics in the house before, or the house after. Just the one I was talking about with the pets. That's when we started doing comics. Actually, I don't know where that spawned from, but I just remember specifically that we did comics after. But anyways, yeah, I remember that house a lot. But like I was saying, I'm still on the topic about pets. Our dad's girlfriend at the time had, I think it was I forgot what it was. Oh, it was a bearded dragon. And we kept it for a while because technically it didn't belong to us, but it was our dad's girlfriend's at the time. And so that was like a really interesting pet to have, because like I've never had a pet like that. And then I think Dad broke up with her, and they just kind of left the iguana with us. And then the iguana just passed away because we didn't have the right things to feed it. So it was weird times back then, just very weird times. But that was another pet we had. I remember a lot about it because it was so long ago, and I didn't really interact it with that much. I was just in school at the time, and I just don't remember. Yeah, the White House was an interesting area. I just don't remember anything about it. But I know what I do remember is before that White House, we had even more pets. Actually, I think we had. It was the Brown House, and that was eons ago. So the Brown House was like the first memorable house I remember before I think I left. Our dad left with our original mom. But I could be wrong. Again, I don't remember any of this crap. Actually, it's hard to remember, but and that house was really awesome. I have so many fond memories of there about Christmas and playing on the Wii, playing Super Mario Galaxy and all that. I was really young back then. I was fucking like I don't even know how young I was, but our dad actually had a fish tank as well, so he had a lot of interesting fish. I think he started off with just like some basic fish, but then I remember like he like got like 10 new species in that one tank. So he got like this cool fish that would like eat sand and then spit it back out. He actually got some clownfish with the little tendril stuff. I forgot what it was, an enemy or something. And then yeah, there was just a lot of cool wacky fish in there. But he had like kind of had like a collection of them. It was kind of sick. So yeah, that was really interesting. I just remember there specifically the faint blue light in the downstairs area. And that was just really cool actually. So let's see if I draw this guy's ribs because he's actually like famished. Don't want to make him look buff or anything. So but yeah, that was definitely interesting times with all my pets that I had. And still on the topic of pets, like I said, our whole like bloodline had German shepherds. So if ever in the future I like have enough money and time, I will probably get one for myself, and it'll be my best companion. Because it's always good to have a pet around the house, especially a dog. Dogs are very, very loving creatures. Cats are too, but I like dogs a lot more. Dogs have more emotion. There's beautiful, beautiful creatures. Let's see. Let me finish this here. Oh yeah, the topics on pets. Like I think I mentioned it in one of my videos, where I wanted to get a pet tarantula, and now I really want to because I was wondering, like, well, no, because it'll be like too hard. I won't have the right conditions and everything. And then I looked up on like watched some videos and I searched for like conditions and certain species, and I was like, oh, this is actually kind of easy. Obviously, I need to keep up with the feeding schedule, the cleaning schedule. That's all stuff you can take care of. Because spiders are basically like big, fluffy cats with 8 legs. They're just lazy and they want food. That's basically the same as a cat. So, basically, all I'll have to do is keep my room at like 60 to 70 degrees warm, because I do have a good heater for that. I would have to keep the enclosure moist, obviously, like I said in my previous video. Just all stuff that's very easy to take care of. I'd have to write down the schedule of all the stuff I would have to do frequently. And you typically only have to feed tarantulas, I believe it was like 2 or 3 times every 1 to 2 weeks. So I would write myself a little schedule. And obviously, if I write a schedule, the spider's not going to follow it, so it's not going to eat whenever I tell it to. And that's okay, because then you can just try again another day, and it'll probably eat it again. So, all stuff to consider when you have a creature like that. And plus, having that pet like that would be so awesome, because I love spiders so much. I've loved spiders since I was a wee little lad. They're awesome creatures. So I definitely want to get one of those in the future. Definitely. Because then in my videos I could have a spider cam, like I said before. That would just be so freaking cool to have. Freaking tarantula in my room. Like if I have someone over, they'd be like, "Yo, you want to see my tarantula?" And they'd be like, "Absolutely not." It's like, "Well, too bad. It's in my room, buddy." Yeah, that's awesome. Dude, that made me think of something. Imagine having someone over and you're ready to get down and freaky with it, and they have a tarantula in the corner of your room, just watching you. That'd be so absurd. Such a stupid idea. But that's actually really funny to think of. But I definitely want to get one. Obviously, I would have to do a lot more than just that. I would have to keep the house very clean just for my sanity. Keep my room very clean, just so I know that the spider has the perfect conditions, and that I have the perfect conditions as well. Because I don't keep my room clean all the time. I do like monthly cleaning. But yeah, that's the topic about pets. Basically, I just want to. I had some in the past, and I just want to get one for myself. And the one pet I would want to get that's obviously relatively cheap, maybe. I have to do all the research about how much money it is, and I think I'd be able to do it, especially at the job I have now, where I definitely make enough money to sustain something like that. But I need enough money to sustain myself for like a vehicle as well. So it's all like, when am I ever gonna use a freaking car? Like, I could just use my scooter to work, and it's like it's hard to do the things I actually love when there's just so much stuff that I technically don't need, but also really do if I want to enjoy life a tiny bit more. Then it's also these things that like cost so much freaking money. So it's like, at this rate, I'm just gonna be buying this huge expensive thing, and then, knowing my luck, I'll destroy the thing and I'll be in freaking debt. So it's just not worth it. I would just rather have something in my life that would make me happy, like a spider. So it's like, I'll probably be in this apartment like forever, like my neighbor downstairs. It's like, it's like, we'll see how it goes, I guess. Like, but I just want to keep it going in a way to just enjoy my life and do the things I've kind of always wanted to, like this, make video, like art videos. I've always wanted to do this. It's been a great passion of mine. So yeah, that's what I'm aiming for. Just plans for the future and all that. But yeah, I think I'm gonna bring up another topic. Also, I don't know how to draw knives correctly because I'm stupid. There we go. That's good. Another topic I want to talk about is, let me see. Oh yeah. My paintings that I'm doing. I'm trying desperately to get into more painting because I have not delved into it a lot, but the times that I have, it's been very nice. So, in high school, I think I did my first painting in high school. Or I did paintings before that as a kid. But I did like my first couple paintings in high school, and they went pretty good. I did a couple memorable ones, just of how I was dealing with stuff at the time. So I'm gonna censor this guy. I want it to be as realistic as possible, but I don't want to make it weird. Haha. There we go. But yeah, I have a couple paintings. The main thing I struggled with in high school was colors. I hated using colors. I still don't like using them now. That's just my main artistic flaw, because I've been drawing for so long. I'm just used to pencil on paper, It's hard to switch to something when you're too used to it. But yes, I have quite a bit of paintings. I want to show you the one I have right here. I'm busy drawing, so I really want to finish this character right now. But I will explain it. My first painting. Ooh, it wasn't memorable because I kind of just copied it off the internet. But it was in middle school. And I just did this like cool background with a tree with a tire on it. And the only thing I like about that painting is, first of all, the tree and the tire look horrible, so it just kind of ruins the entire painting. But the thing I remember about that painting is how the sky looks, and it looks very, very nice. That's just one thing I really remember about it. I remember being like, even now, it's like, wow, that looks really good. How did I do that? I should do this more. And so I kind of want to delve into that more. And I did. So, it works. I think I've just finished Ivan. He looks a lot better than the previous drawing, that's for sure. Because I like drawing them more realistic, I guess. But let me finish his arm here. Oop, my song has ended. There we go. But yeah. What was I just saying? I forgot to finish his arm. But yeah, that was my first memorable painting. And then I want to show you this one here. Just give me a second. This one I drew in high school. Let me try to prop it up in a way so I can still draw. I'm doing this. Greed butt. Ooh, wait. I got an idea. Greed butt. I need your butt. Ooh, thank you. Probably can't see anything, but yeah. There you go. Now you can see most of it. So that one I did in high school. It kind of just spread it off of how much I really hated country and the country aspect, but it kind of stemmed off of just my hate for my stepmom at that point, which I know is not a good thing, but that's what it's about, and I can't undo the painting. But yeah, it came out of pure hate for country. That's literally the only reason that painting exists. I was just in very dark times. Like I said in my art video, having to wake up and look at a stupid freaking whiteboard with bubbly text on it. So yeah, that just made it, like I said, the only reason I do that is because my mom or stepmom was like a fake country woman. So I was like, oh, I'll just make a drawing about how people just fake themselves just so look good or something in certain ways. I don't really know what that paint's about. I think it actually just came out of anger. So yeah, that's that one. I wouldn't say it's my best work, but it is something. And I did draw it, so there you go. I have it. But the main part I actually like doing about it, besides the actual implications behind it, is the cool background. How I drew the desert, how I drew the cacti, all painted. Obviously, not all this is painted. Some of this is drawn, and some of these are like actual paper on top of the paper. Let me open up an image because I forgot what this guy looked like. Eepy. Very eepy. Just look at my brother's thumbnails again. They're absolute bangers. He's cooking with them. But yeah, let me get my music back up. But yeah, that painting kind of just stemmed off of how angry I was at the time. Just angry. I guess that's all it was. And it's good to get that anger out sometimes through art form, I think. So I did good. I do have another painting. It's more like a collage thing. I have to pull it off the board right now, but I also have a recent one I just did like a month ago. It's not finished, but it's I think it's pretty good looking. I'd have to show them, take pictures of them or something. But they all look really nice. I guess I can go grab that one off the board since I'm still on the topic about it, Give me 1 second. Come here. Yes. Come here. I hope they don't rest on that pin. Otherwise I'm going to stab myself. That would be not good. This one's kind of bigger. This one was kind of after the anger phase of when I was living in the basement. And this was just more in my, it was in my very dark stages of life. I know this is getting very depressing, but again, it's good to, do all this in art form. Oh, wow, you guys can see this shite. I have to move this candle as well. Almost. Shit. Let me move the camera a tiny bit. There we go. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. So this one I did quite a bit of different things on top of the paper. This is 2 pieces of paper with a cutout in the center, and then between that is that piece of paper with that drawing on it. And then this was just a red piece of. Did I paint over this? No, I didn't paint over it. So this was just originally a black piece of paper, and then a red hollow square, and then I wrote with a painting marker with the white letters and a black Sharpie on top of the red, and I splattered white paint all over it. That's basically all I did. But put that aside. Move this down. Oopsies. What was that actually? Something fell. Uh-oh. But yeah, that one was, oof. There we go. That one I did on my last year of high school, because I was really struggling. And that was when I was in the basement still. And there was an absurd amount of house centipedes in the basement, and they were coming from this breaker box that we had that was kind of right next to Gavin's. Because the thing is, when we lived in the basement, there was no separate rooms or anything. It was just one big open area with the boiler and all that. And one thing I remember is that we didn't have rooms, but we would set up these blankets to separate each of our beds. That's how we did it. We just separate we made walls with our blankets and had to deal with that. So, but Gavin's room, he had the breaker box right next to him, and I distinctly remember we would while we were drawing with, the light on at like 3, we would draw at the night or even the morning when we were off on school. While we just kept drawing, we would occasionally see a house centipede, and we'd be like, ugh, that's gross. Um, and it got to the point where I like really started hating seeing them, even though I didn't like. I think because I love bugs now, like I just love all bugs. Like I will carry a house centipede, like right now in my hands. I will pet it because I love them. But I think my hatred towards them just stemmed off of how horrible I was feeling in the basement, because I just was not doing good. Like having to deal with all the dog shit that we had to deal with. Um, so I just like, I actually became scared of them when I saw them, because I was like, ugh, that's gross. I don't want to see that. And so I'd start killing them by spraying them with like bleach or whatever. And it just became this unhealthy relationship for me and the centipedes. And I remember one distinct day where I woke up. I saw one skitter across the wall. It was a pretty big one too, and I freaking smashed that thing with a book. But after I did that, I just remember feeling so horrible, and I was like, "What am I doing? Like that thing did nothing wrong to me. It's just running away because it's scared of like the light. It's scared I turn on the light. It's like I kind of thought like that's fucked up that I just did that. I thought about it all day when I was at school. I just could not get it out of my head. And I believe that's it kind of like grew in me in over these past years, and I was just like, well, I'm gonna stop trying to do shit like that, and I just became like a lot better of a person. Because I just at the realization I was like, you know, I think when I killed that centipede, I killed a little bit of myself too. I was like, oof, that's not good at all. So I just learned to embrace it, and then after that, the next time I saw one, I was in the bathroom, and I just scooped it up in my hands and put it back to where it was. That's what I did. That one was also huge, and I learned to love house centipedes. I mean, scared of them, and I think that was pretty cool. But that's where that painting kind of originated from. Was in that moment when I was like, you know, just not doing well in the basement and having to suffer along with my two brothers. Like again, they were in the same shit as I was, so we all went through it. But that's why I titled it "Dying with My Centipedes," because like that's just how I felt. But that was all. That's all in the past, obviously. But it feels really good to get out. All that stuff. That's where that painting kind of originated from. Was just those times where I had to deal with freaking house centipedes in my basement, but I love them now. House centipedes are actually like, aside from all that traumatic crap, house centipedes are actually very useful in your house. If you like, I know they look disgusting because I think they look disgusting too, even right now. But you just have to. They're really good killers. Like they kill spiders too, So they're really nice. They're just really nice to have around your house. They're actually like, I think they're like really good killers. If you have it in your house, like definitely keep it. Yeah, they're very nice hunters. Where was I about? Oh yeah, I was telling about my paintings. I think it's the two most memorable paintings I have. I do have the one behind me, but that one's kind of hard to explain right now because I make all these paintings based on like a certain key event moments and how I feel. So that country one was just based off of hatred. That centipede one was based off of just like I don't want to say depression because I sound like someone with blue hair and who uses TikTok way too much. But that one was kind of based off depression. I know I hate saying that word, but yeah, I think that's where that one came from. And I had a talk with my art teacher about it too, and she said it was like really awesome I was able to do that, and how awful it must have been. Again, like I said, my art teacher was like awesome. She understood a lot of good stuff that most people wouldn't. But yeah, just just interesting times, I would say. And then the one behind me, which is huge, I just did that one a month ago. I don't have a title for it yet. I'm not finished with it. I don't know how I'm gonna finish it, but I'll figure it out because it looks a little bland right now. I mean, bland in the sense that it's just a red spiral background. It's supposed to look like weird and kind of like just like gore and messy and red. And then there's a, a figure a figure I painted with black, and the figure is just like line art exactly like this. It's like it's line art with like tendrils all over, um, and it looks kind of bland right now, which is why I want to like either make or either fill the painting more with like more black or fill the creature in somehow, or just keep the creature the line art as it is now and just rock and roll with it and see if I can figure out how to fill in more of the dead space. Um, just figure it out, I guess. I think this woman's legs are too long. But yeah, that one is, I think that one's about. It's just hard to explain right now. I would sound like a schizophrenic person if I tried to explain it right now, but you know, obviously that painting is a little interesting looking, so I think you can guess what it's based off of his current emotions right now about just how I feel. I don't want to try to get into it too much until I'm actually done with the painting, but it's an interesting. It's gonna be an interesting one. It's gonna be on my wall, so I want to make another one after it as well that looks similar, but it's gonna be totally different. That one's gonna be way different. It's gonna be about an emotion as well, so it's gonna be a little bit the same, but just yeah. I forgot what that one's gonna be about, but you'll see. Yeah, that's all the paintings I did. I definitely want to delve into it a little bit more because I like doing the paintings. It's nice. I'm not good at it, obviously. I'm not like really talented. Not like I can paint a landscape like Bob Ross or just anything for that matter. Because my art teacher was really cool in the way she did her paintings. She would make like, because her paintings were like, the way I do my art is like I do have to do everything perfect so that you know what you're looking at. But my teacher was just like, she had this cool art style where she would just like paint people in really mysterious ways, with no faces and all that. It looked really cool. So you wouldn't be able to tell what it is, but you also could because if you just looked at it hard enough, you have to admire the painting, But yeah, she was pretty cool. I think she encouraged me to do more painting because I hated using color, and I just really I did not like using color in high school. And every time I tried using it, it looked very bad. So I'm gonna draw their iconic eyes as well. The woman's eyes and Tom's eyes. I don't think I'm gonna be able to draw Brian here because there's not enough room. But I'm glad to draw the three main people that are all related to each other. Also, I think in the episode before this, I somehow accidentally mentioned that when Ivan was writing his weird notebook, that he was writing about the woman being kind of in a relationship with him. But it's not like incest or anything, because that's fucking weird. But I think what I meant is that Ivan was writing his madness about finally having his sister back after the dad separated all them. Because that's the main lore, is that also the dad separated them from the mom and took Ivan. The mom took Ivan away. So the dad was with the girl and Tom, or the brother of the girl, and then the mom was with Ivan. So Ivan got separated, which is why Ivan was so happy to have her back, to take her life and have her be with him forever. That's what it meant by like, she's gonna be with me forever, or she's gonna be mine, because he wants her sister back. So don't get the wrong idea, But yeah, that's primarily what I meant. But yeah, trying to do. The thing is, I want to draw them in their original cartoony form, but it would be too simple. So you can still see her iconic like, cause her head shape was like this in the old comics. I'm trying to keep that same flow. So I'm just more like, Ivan's is like this. I'm gonna draw the basic shape, and hers is like this, and then Tom's is like hers, just flipped. So you can see where I'm going at here, where these two are like same, and he's kind of the same, but he's like a mixture of these two. So they're all related. So I really like doing the hairstyles differently. It just looks really good. But yeah, that's primarily what I was going for in this series, is just making the characters very interesting looking. I'm not good at drawing women. I'm so sorry, people. I'm just not good at it at all. Another main thing about my characters in art is that my brothers drew all the women characters, and I drew all well, they drew male characters as well, but I like did not know how to draw women. I was like so dumb. I didn't know how to do it. So they did all that, and I did my own thing. So yeah, I just drew all the guys. So that's another main interesting thing about my art, is that I drew like two actual woman characters. That's including this one here. But I still developed really good stories and stuff. So I don't hate women or anything, guys. Don't get the wrong idea. I'm just not good at drawing them. So sorry, I'm not good at those things. So you won't be getting any art of that. So just gonna draw this. There we go. I think she looks alright. She's not supposed to look the prettiest. She is like disheveled and all that stuff. Also, she's like huge compared to Ivan. I don't know what's going on here. I gotta change some things. Where was I? I think there's a couple more topics as well. A topic I want to bring up is my grandma's farm, and how much I absolutely love that place. That place was pretty much heaven, because we would get taken there like on certain holidays or just certain days just to be with her. We actually lived there a while when we were moving between houses, because times were tough. And that place was pretty amazing. Like I said, she had horses. She had cats as well. That place was just so awesome. So many fond memories I could talk about of that place. It's just so many. But some main memories I'm trying to think. I know there's so many stories, but oh yeah, that's where I first learned to ride a bike as a kid. Was at my grandma's house. That's when I first learned how to do it. I could never do it in the Brown house, but I was able to do it there. And that's no fault of my dad or whatever. It's just like kids learn certain ways. But yeah, I think I remember that specific day where I just instantly knew how to do it. It was when we were, when our grandma was teaching us how to do it, and she had this like hill outside of her yard. It wasn't a huge hill, but there was like a tree on top of the hill, and the hill would go down a little bit, and it wasn't a huge hill, but it was one big enough where we could go down a bike with it pretty fast, and then you could turn onto the driveway. And that's how I'd learned, is that I pushed myself down the hill one time, and then I just when I was going really fast down the hill, I just started pedaling like randomly with my feet, and I got like a little bit somewhere, and I was like, oh my gosh, I was doing it for a second, and then the second try, as soon as I started pedaling and I turned onto the driveway, it just became like locked into my brain. I was like, I know how to do this, and I did it. And so I just did it for the whole day. I was my brain was just like, yep, I know how to do it because of you just pedaled a couple times. Um, so yeah, that was really awesome to learn. Um, yeah, I don't ride it again. I don't I haven't ridden a bike in a while because my most recent bike was like a red one that I got from my old job that I used my 20% discount on. It was really nice. It was a red bike. I forgot what brand. I don't really care what brand it was. But I think no, it was this summer. It actually got stolen, which is awesome. I think it got stolen while I was at a Walgreens. Actually, I have no idea how it got stolen. Um, how did I lose it? Actually, I don't remember at all. But anyways, it's gone. So I'm trying to get it here. Um, if someone, I mean, obviously no one has it that's watching this. Duh. But yeah, that was pretty depressing because I actually liked riding the bike as well. Um, it riding bikes for me is it's such a nostalgic thing. It's so freeing. Also, what just happened to my phone? Hello, my phone. Hello. Oh, the video. Why pause? What the heck? Where was I? Oh, right. Yeah. So my bike got stolen. Which is why I have a little electric scooter now to get to work. And I love riding bikes because I used to do it all the time with my sisters and my two brothers. Riding bikes is like just so freeing when there's right temperatures and good hills to go down. This feels really good to do it. But yeah, anyways, my grandma's farm. More on that. Some key moments I remember. Let's see. I remember her horses and the electric fence she had for them. I remember touching the electric fences on purpose because I'm stupid. I was like, yippee. I just remember so many things. I draw Harper with a FBI badge. Or a police badge, not FBI. The FBI does not exist on the planet. I'll just keep it. Technically, while she was kidnapped, she didn't have one, so. I'll make her holding a bouquet of roses, since that is also canon in the lore. This is such calming music. I'm so glad I chose this. But yeah, my grandma's farm was such a nice area. I'm trying to think of another fond memory I have. Let's see. Gosh, there's just so many. Oh, I remember her showing us the movie Beetlejuice for the first time when we were kids, by the way. So that was awesome. That's a great movie, by the way. I know there's a second one. I have not seen it. But yeah, Beetlejuice is awesome. So we watched a lot of movies at that house as well. So we had some good exposure to that. But not even movies, just stuff that we did outside was awesome as well. So like we would just like going outside to play was actually so much fun. Like when she told us to go do it, we just willingly did it because it was that fun. It was so fun. There's just so much to remember. So much little farmy tidbits. Hang on, I'm trying to see what this is here. There we go. And I know it might be ironic because I said I absolutely. Actually, I'm gonna make her hair holding a pair of scissors instead. It's ironic. I know it might be ironic because I said I hate country stuff, but my grandma's farm wasn't country. Okay, she didn't blast like country music. She didn't blast like, she didn't blast country music like some sort of obnoxious person, like not at all. I don't think there was even like any references to any like country stuff at all. So, um, she did a lot of like bird watching and all that. I don't think there's a lot of country people who go bird watching. But yeah, it was such a nice farm, dude. But I was on about what the heck was I just on about? Guys, I forgot. Need to walk in for these sitters. There we go. It's a good pair of scissors. I just genuinely forgot what I was on about. Oh yeah, we did a lot of campfires and all that. Just a lot of little tidbits that I remember. Just so memorable. I love my grandma so much. Just such a good grandma. All grandmas are good. Most of them are. Yeah, just very memorable moments on that farm. I remember this distinct memory where it was a summer day. We were with a sister as well. We were playing on the road because like no one went down that road. It was that like rural of an era. So there wasn't a whole lot of people that would go down that road. So we do a lot of like chasing and just playing around like dumb kids. And I remember when I think it was a perfect prime season for woolly bears to be out and about, like those little fuzzy striped black and orange caterpillars. Those things are awesome. Those are the cutest freaking little bugs ever. These little inch around like like fuzzy little carpets that are just moving around. They're awesome little creatures. But I remember one summer we were like, we have got to catch as many of these cute little buggers as possible, and that's what we did. We caught like 20 of them and put them in like a little tote, and just to observe them. We released them obviously, but that was such a fun moment because again I loved bug catching back then. I was such a sucker for it because I would lift up rocks and all that as well. Just being a kid that didn't grow up with too many games or being dogmatized into sports or whatever. It feels good. It feels good to not fall into that stuff. I'm not saying that sports are bad. It's just like I'm glad I didn't do it. So then I lead a very artistic life, and I like that a lot for myself. There we go. Looks a lot better. But yeah, we caught like a lot of those woolly bears. It was nice, very nice. She had this really cool old tree that she told us to never go by. So kind of came this big monolith that we just weren't allowed to go near ever because it got struck by lightning, like not a couple years ago, but when we were there it was a couple like years ago, and it had some big freaking branches like that were nearly falling off. So she told us to not go over there. She's worried about our safety, and if one of the branches would just kill one of us, be like, "See you later, sucker. I'm falling on top of you now." This is God's plan. But no, that was a really cool, sick-looking tree. It was an apple tree, I think. It was a really big apple tree. It's probably a small one, but I was a kid, so it looked huge. There's always wasps around there as well, so it was a cool tree. But anyways, there's a lot of other cool things. Like I remember there was the neighbor's cornfield that we played in one time, and Grandma got really mad because that's not our property. The neighbor didn't mind though, because we were just kids playing hide and seek in a freaking corn maze, and that was so awesome. That was genuinely so cool. And then like it was such a nice farm, because then we would go home and we would be so tired after long days of playing, and then we would have her awesome, like I already talked before, her awesome tomato soup macaroni. That stuff was peak. Like that stuff was awesome. It's like the best food you can ever eat. Just so many memorable moments. And we'd go home and sleep on the coziest beds ever. Yeah, that farm was pretty amazing. What else memorable moments were on the farm though? Like I'm trying to think of key moments I remember. Oh yeah, I remember in her field, she also had like a little weird little wheat field thing. I don't think she did any gardening. She just had a cool field. with like some old equipment in it. I remember that there was I think during the summer season or a specific season there was always massive orb weavers over there. So I would obviously, because I love spiders so much, and I loved them even more at the time, I would pick them up and just play with them and all that. Like I would just pick up any bug I saw and play with it. Cause I just was just such an exploratory little kid back then. It was a really good farm. Trying to think what this looks like here. Hang on. There we go. I was gonna start doing some hard drawing just to finish it sooner. But yeah, that was a pretty nice farm. Did a lot of really cool things in there. It's good to, it's good to be one with nature. Like, it's a key part that you have to have in your life. Gotta literally have to touch grass. Just gotta do it. But and that kind of ties back into like Megan and Tarantula, because like having a pet like that would just be so cool. Taking care of something alive, especially like a spider. Like it's weird taking care of a spider instead of like an actual full-blown cat, because obviously cats have more brains than a freaking spider does. But spiders are just nicer because I love spiders. It's not like a spider will come up to you and ask for like it'll like beg and whine for food, and it won't like give you it won't like lick you on the face in appreciation. But they are awesome to have. I think my song is ending again. Jesus, it's been an hour. Oh gosh, I gotta get drawing the rest of the crew here. I need to talk about more topics as well. Might start speedrunning this a tiny bit, but I promise it won't look sloppy. Yeah, it looks good. These characters are gonna be a little bit misplaced since I just don't know how to draw certain things. But what's another good topic I can talk about? Oh yeah, I did run out. I was gonna talk about my work, but there's nothing really interesting that happened today except for just little things that don't matter. But I could talk about these props that I have on my desk since I've actually run out of ideas. I don't want to talk about all the props in one video because then I'll have nothing to talk about. But I would like to mention just a couple of them. Some of them are going to be like little short tidbits that I did in school. I just got to finish this girl's line art. And then I will start drawing Tom. Actually, I got to finish Ivan's line art as well. And then I'm going to start drawing Tom. I suppose I could talk about something tiny a little before that. I actually can't think of anything. I guess I could talk about it. The 29th. I think it's a day after Thanksgiving. On the 29th of November, my cousin and a lot of family is gonna have a cool little Thanksgiving thing going on, and I'm gonna be able to see my grandma again. I haven't seen her in a while. I'm gonna be able to see my sister, which I haven't seen in a while. I'm gonna be able to see my uncle. Oh, dude, I should have a whole video about my uncle. That dude is awesome. I mean, that dude is like, I don't even know how to describe him. He's like a mega nerd. I'll try to explain what kind of person he was like, because he was awesome. But basically, in the basement of that house we were living in, that it used to be our uncle's basement. Because remember, they were renting the house off of our uncle. But our uncle only lived in that house for a little bit before he did his own stuff. And so he lived in the basement while we were there with our dad and stepmom, and his basement looked like it looked like a cave full of anime and movies and Godzilla and this and that, like anything. He had it. Like he had so much figurines, a lot of comics, and like cool gaming setup. And I mean, that dude was living the freaking life, dude. Um, yeah, he's awesome. He still is now. His main job, I think he was a truck driver at the time. So he was never actually in the house most of the time because he was just so busy. Um, but yeah, I mean that dude, that the basement looked absolutely nuts. I mean it was just filled to the brim with stuff like comics and all that. Um, I think it was nice to go down there and see him. It was very rare when I actually did go down there and see him and see what he's up to, but I really enjoyed those small moments when I did because he just had so much stuff. I mean, he just had a lot. And he's the same today. I mean, he's just a mega nerd. And yeah, I like the guy. He's pretty chill guy. But yeah, that's just the coolest uncle you could ask for, genuinely. Just a mega nerd. But yeah, yeah, that was kind of cool how he lived in the basement and then we did. He kind of taught us everything we need to know about what it was like to live in a basement for a while. So it was good that he gave us that insight, you know. Just good insight. And again, it's not like I hated the basement or anything, but again, it was just weird times, so I hated it at the moment. But yeah, our uncle is like the coolest guy. He's so freaking cool. I have a lot of really cool family members I could talk about, but that would take forever. That would take a long time. I was gonna talk about. Oh yeah, I was gonna talk about the props on my desk and all that stuff. But, I just gotta finish doing the line art. That's what I was talking about. Just gotta finish up the line art here. Sorry guys, for line art I get kind of locked in because I'm pressing down with my pencil pretty hard, and then I get some really nostalgic but painful feelings in my hand. It's like, yes, we're so back. Yeah, I'm just gonna mark in a tiny bit here. One interesting thing that happened to me at work today, actually, I had to issue my own, or not my own, I had to issue a code Adam today at work because there's a missing child. A customer came up to me and they were like, "There's this child here and they don't seem to have parents." And I was like, "Ah, crap! I've never done this ever in my life before, but now I have to issue code Adam." I remember, I think it was like I was very confused, so I just called over. I said on my radio like, "I have a code Adam. There's a child here." I described the child, and they were like, "Is a child with you?" and all that. I was like, "Yeah." Like, I was very confused, so it was all like, it was very confusing. But they found it, and I had my team lead came up to me. He's like, "Yo, gotta be a little more descriptive, man, because we were looking around with the child. You gotta say you're with the child. You first, like say everything. Like say, hi, this is Kobe Adam. I'm with a child right now, so don't worry. This is what the child looks like. Blah 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 blah. Be very descriptive." I was like, "Oh yeah, sounds good. It makes sense. This makes sense right now." But again, I was very thrown off. It was like my last 2 hours of my day too. But I think I brought that up because it's like, first of all, that child looked like 1 or 2 years old. So, I mean, if you're a parent, you have got to keep track of your child, especially a child that young. Like, there are some abhorrent people out there that'll take advantage of moments like that, and you have just got to like, you've got to keep an eye on your child. You really gotta. It's bad for everyone. It's like, yeah. So I did that today. That was stressful because like that was just another key stressful moment of work today as well. I was just having to do that out of the blue and then being berated after that. It's like, I get it, but whatever. Because during the morning as well, when I was doing online grocery pickups for people, my team lead came up to me and like, yo, your time off for the 29th, your family Thanksgiving thing. No, we're not going to do that. You have to be at work. And I was like, what do you mean? I was like, well, you can't use your protected time off, PPTO. I was like, oh crap, that's not good. So I was like, I just started pulling my own hair out, and I was like, no, I can't go to Thanksgiving. No. But then I thought about it a little more instead of losing my mind. I was like, wait, can't I just use PPTO on the day that it actually comes? So I went up to the. Also, this perspective is horrible. Let me just look at this. Oh my god. The girl is Slender Man. This is horrifying. She's actually Slender Man. I think it's because I was leaning back in my chair or something. Oh my god. Why does she look like that? What the? Okay, I gotta do some big time erasing here. I just realized that right now. What the hell? But yeah. So I was just pulling my hair out for no reason. I was like, oh my freaking god, bro, I'm gonna lose my mind. But so I went up to her. I was like, so I have 6 hours right now, and by the 29th, I'll most likely have 8. So can I just use that? She's like, well, I can't do it for you right now. I was like, well, what do you mean? She's like, well, I can't do it for you right now. You only use it on the day that it happens. I was like, oh, you could have just said that then, you stupid maggot. Thank you for making me stressed for no reason, little bro. So I think that was just me not knowing how it works and poor communication, which Walmart is so, or at least this Walmart and everyone I work with, very interesting communication skills, I shall say, because I run off of raw instruction and nothing else. So it's just like, when you get like, it's just like, I can't run off instruction that is false or has no weight behind it. And there's a very specific person that I work with who is very horrible at it. But I don't want to get into it today because she is not a good person to be around, I guess. But again, so I was like kind of just stressed the whole day because I had so many things to worry about, and then I had to call to Adam. It's like, I just want to chill and listen to my music, please. But other than that, I mean, it was all right, I guess. She looking less lanky now, I guess. She still looks pretty lanky. Let me change that. Let me do some mega erasing. I'm trying to think of how this looks. I'm horrible at anatomy, guys. I'm so sorry. Okay, I'm gonna draw her waist right here instead. There we go. That's a lot better. There we go. That's a lot better. Her arm is also very, very long. But yeah, what was I? Oh yeah, I was gonna talk about these before I just started yapping about nonsense. Which one of these props should I talk about? I kind of talk about this piece of paper here since that's that holds the most meaning, and I do feel pretty cozy right now, so maybe I would talk about it. But I need to like lock in for this crap. That looks a lot better. But yeah, she looked like Slender Man. That's kind of why I changed her. starting to look very weird. There we go. That's a lot better. That's actually so much better. This piece of paper here. Yeah, I'm still doing drawings, so it's like I can't double task. This piece of paper holds a lot of meaning for me because it's from I talked about one of my best friends in school, who was the guy who drew a lot of dinosaurs and Nintendo stuff. And I still haven't called him because I'm busy and I'm stupid. But I promise I will, and maybe I'll talk to you guys about it as well. But I think he gave this to me in elementary school, which was obviously a long time ago. And it's simply just a drawing of Waluigi, but it's more than that because it's like literally a token of our friendship. When he just gave it to me in elementary school, I think that's really when our friendship just absolutely spiraled into the thing it became in high school and middle school. And yeah, it's nice because he just gave me that when he's just like, I don't want this, here, have it. I was like, okay, thank you, I'll take it. I didn't care at the time because I was like a dumb kid. I cared too much about myself. All like kids are. So I was like, thank you, bro, that's so cool. I'll probably just keep this in one of my notebooks. But I ended up keeping it somehow. I thought there were so many times where I thought I lost it, and I was like, well, that thing's gone forever. And I remember that I would go digging and I would somehow find it. So I'm super glad I still have it now. But yeah, that it's basically, like I said, it's just a drawing of Waluigi, but like since I was his favorite character to draw at the time. But it's so cool because it's just like he drew that in elementary school, so not only was he extremely talented, but just goes to show that dude is awesome, and I should call him stop being a stupid idiot. Haha. Right, guys? I'll touch base with him again. I don't even know what he's doing because I know he was kind of in the similar shithole that I was dealing with dumb parents. He was actually going pretty much the same thing I was, now I think about it. So I gotta call him, see if he's doing well with a job, or let's just hope not he's still with his parents or whatever. But it would be really cool if I can talk to him again. Maybe he could be my editor since he was really good at making videos as well. That would be honestly so cool, having that guy be my editor, and just to kind of rekindle what we had. And because I remember in high school, I mean, we saw each other in every art class, and that dude was just a mega troll. So there's this one game, it's not in Crazy Games anymore. There's this one game that we played called Smash Karts, and it was like this Mario Kart battle royale dog shit. He got invested in that game to the point where in art class, actually at a point in art class where it became a problem, where I would start playing the game and then not do the art. And my art teacher gave me like reminders like, yo, I know you guys are really good at your art, but dude, you could do more. But yeah, I was like, sorry, teach, I'm sorry, love you, but please. But he would make me play that game a lot because like I said, that is a mega troll. He's just a troll. So hang on, just locked in again. But yeah, that game became one of my least liked games of all time because I just hated playing it. It was just like every day. It was like, oh my gosh, this game again. Oh, please, I don't want to play this Smash Kart game. And the thing is, I loved playing with him because there were some hilarious moments every time we would play, and some cool moments. But still, when you play a game like that for a very long time, it's like, I don't want to do this crap anymore, man. But yeah, he saw that and thought it was pretty funny. He still, he would traumatize me about it every day after the fact. Like, yo, you want to run up some Smash carts? I would just look at him and be like, are you actually joking right now? Like, you really? He'd be like, nah. But oh yeah, I forgot he made videos as well that I still get to show you. Maybe I'll post them to YouTube. I think it's a good idea. Maybe I will post them to YouTube. I just gotta figure out how to do it. She looks a little less lanky, which is good. Why do her legs look? Oh, her legs look very short. She still looks so weird. I think it's the top half that's the main thing that's killing her form right now. But honestly, it looks kind of good. She looks really creepy looking. I think that's the main vibe I was going for when I originally created her. Was her weird bulgy eyes and just off looks, I guess. But I want to make it look a little less weird, so just gonna change it a little. But yeah, that dude was definitely an interesting person. He made these Wii videos, like I said. I think his main inspirations for those videos were Dashi, the Mario. You know who Dashi is. I'm gonna explain who Dashi is. It was that guy, and also who else? It was Dashi. Some niche other meme content, YouTube poops mainly. He was inspired by that. He's just inspired a lot of crazy crap. Mind you, this is a guy who also really likes dinosaurs and makes insanely detailed drawings of the dinosaurs from like Jurassic Park. He makes like the anatomy of them. That's the same guy who made YouTube poop videos. Like, that dude is like what? Like, but that just goes to show like what kind of person he was and how awesome he was to be around. Just such a weird guy. But yeah, I definitely will try to call him soon or just figure out what he's doing in life. If there's somehow possibly a way I could see him again. I don't know what we would do, but because I genuinely actually don't know what we would do. Probably run up Smash carts again. That's the only thing I could think of. Was play a horrible game again just to see. But yeah, I think that would be definitely pretty interesting. But yeah, I'm glad to be making more friends as well, and more than just that as well. Because in high school I never had any like actual. I didn't have like a big friend group or anything, which is fine. You don't need to have a big friend group to be a human being in high school. Like, you can do your own thing. But I was never really part of a big friend group, which is, I definitely would have liked it so I can have a lot more friends and do more interesting things. But it just didn't happen. Oh, it's almost been an hour and a half. I haven't drawn other guy over here, so I think I shall get to that right now. It's looking very messy, but like I said, for these art videos, I just want to draw the basics, and then I'll touch it up later. Like I said, I redrew Ivan here because I didn't like the other one, so I'm just gonna try to touch these guys up and make a cool background or something, and then I shall show you the finished product when I'm done. I'm drawing Tom here in his iconic Golden Freddy pose. I promise that's not where I was going for when I made him like that, but it's just how he looks. Locking in for his hair here. What other topics bring around? Oh yeah, this piece. I actually want to show you that piece of paper. Just threw it in my lap for no reason. But explain Leo. This piece of paper here. This is the drawing of Waluigi that he made. You can see how torn and weathered it is as well. That's the Waluigi drawing he made very long time ago. It's just so tattered and all that. I just wrote from Leo, my best friend. His name is Leo, by the way. I've got other props here. This one doesn't mean a whole lot. Oh yeah, this one here. I'll just fidget with this as I talk about it. This is actually the dog Bear I was talking about. The small black baby German Shepherd. This is Bear's. This is Bear's toy ball that I kept. It's the main one that he used. It's probably still got his freaking DNA on it. This is Bear's ball, so I'm glad I still have it. Just nice to keep these things, I guess. So yeah, that's pretty much what that is. That's just Bear's ball. This is a weird painted rock that I made like a long time ago. When we were in the house with our stepmom and dad. And like I mentioned, all my art stuff, I have to thank my sister for it, because she's like what really got us into it. And because we did a lot of art with her sister as well. But obviously her art didn't look as good as mine does now. That's not because she's like bad or washed or anything. It's just that she stopped drawing because she's 3 years older than us, and she graduated a lot sooner. So it's like, so she had her own life. She just, you know, when she was when she was no longer like in our, when she was no longer in the basement with us, or not, she wasn't ever in the basement with us. What am I saying? She was upstairs all the time. But when she was no longer living with us, with our dad and mom, or stepmom, she was doing her own thing, and she didn't draw as much. But I don't blame her really. She was very, very busy. So yeah. Obviously, I would, you know, I really have her to thank for it. I just gotta lock in for this guy here. I'm gonna try to make him look all spiky now because he's still in uniform. Actually, like, the girls too. I don't know why I didn't make her in uniform. What the hell? What was I just on about? What was I just on about? Oh, the rock, right. So it's obviously a rock. It's a rainbow color. It's a rainbow painted rock with actually, I'm making all of them not uniformed. Not because they're naked or anything, but just because it's a cool style. This rock is kind of interesting because it does explain a key moment in our life when we were in that house with our stepmom and all that. And I think the key moment I'm trying to get at here is when we were told to go outside every day and do whatever, and do this and whatnot. Just trying to get this out here. Every time we would go outside, it became so like routine, because we were doing a lot of drawing and comics at the time. So it became routine to just go outside, and we would actually sit in like this. We would sit in a circle on the corner of a sidewalk, and like right next to our house. So we looked very stupid, just kids like sitting on a sidewalk. But it became genuinely that routine where no one batted an eye. Everyone's like, "Oh yeah, those weird freaking kids drawing on pieces of paper on the sidewalk." So that's what we do. Sometimes we would go to the elementary park and do that there. But we did it mostly on that one little sidewalk. But it's the amount of times that we did that where it just became so routine. It actually became boring to do it every day, to actually draw. So it just kind of became this thing. It's like, well, we have to do this, and we have to go outside, and then we just eventually didn't want to do it. But you know, I think definitely our sister lost interest. But well, no, I wouldn't say she lost interest at all. I think it's just because she moved out and all that. She was very busy, so I really don't blame her. And she had to go through even worse shit than we did. But I don't want to get into any of Oh my gosh, I'm actually getting very eepy. I gotta finish this guy. Getting so very eepy, but yeah. We would draw on that sidewalk, like every day. It became pretty routine. How the hell do I draw this? Actually, I don't want to draw and do that. I'm just gonna draw. That's a lot better. There we go. But yeah, it became very, very routine. So we become very used to the area. I remember one day we were so bored. We were like, let's go to a different sidewalk, one that we're not used to, you know. And that's what we did. We just went to a completely different sidewalk, and it was like 1 block away. And I remember we did painted rock. Oh man, we did painted rocks that day because we like, you know, we have this painted rock set that our stepmom gave us. Let's try it out, you know. And that's how this thing came to be. We all did our own rocks. That's just one thing I remember about it. But I think this rock just holds a good place in my life. It explains like, oh well, you know, it's just like it's a frail remnant of what I would have to do every day. It became just so routine. And yeah. Again, the X-eyed smiley thing is also a metaphor for one of my main characters that I don't draw anymore. But he was that character was interesting, and that character, because like it was my main character. Like that I would draw all the time and made stories about all the time. But that was when I was still with my sister. So my sister and me had these two main characters that were like best friends, and we would make comics about them interacting and all that. And we made cool lore about them. But the main bit about them is that their main theme is her. So that they're both like they're two guys, and my sister's character's name was Billy, and Billy, so okay, I'm supposed to say my character's name. So my character's name was Todd. So it was Todd and Billy, and they met. They met in I forgot what it was. It was some sort of activity camp for like school and all that. They met in like a camp. And I think they were teenagers when they met, so they had some interesting moments. And Billy was a like a traumatized child and all that, and he had and Billy, being the angst teenager he carved an X-eyed smiley face into his wrist, and so scarred himself on the wrist. So I don't know how he didn't bleed out, but I guess he had precautions all set. And then when Todd met him in that camp, Billy was like, "Yo, dude, you're pretty chill. I've not seen anyone chill like you before." Because Billy was a very hateful person, but when Todd met him up, they kind of just instantly connected, and Billy became friends with him, and then Todd, you know, since they were good friends, Todd decided that he liked the idea of the scar thing on Billy's wrist, so he did that to himself as well. This is not self-harm at all, guys. So YouTube. This is all in Minecraft, by the way. But yeah, Todd made a kind of the same but different mark on his wrist, except there's an X-eyed frowny face. So that's just a metaphor of that what rock is. I think it was around that area when we made those two characters, and they were very interesting. We made comics about them until they grew up and had their own kids and all that. It was just like very interesting times. But yeah, I think that's like one of my main characters that I used to make all the time was Todd. And Todd became Billy's best friend. Todd became like Billy and Todd didn't become like killers or anything, but they liked pranking and harming people. And Billy was, the main thing about Todd was really good at making bombs, and Billy was really good at, well, just being evil, I guess. But it's hard to explain all this in the certain ways that we did it because they make no sense. Um, but yeah, it was pretty cool. That connection that those two characters had, and how he made that was like my absolute main character. Obviously, my main character now is Ammo, the demon guy I was talking about in my previous video. But Todd is still that remnant. Todd is not even a part of Both. Todd is just this long, forgotten character to time, and I think it's good to keep it that way because like, well, he's ancient and he won't be resurfaced ever. So it's just it's not sad that he's forgotten about or anything. It's just like, oh, it was a remnant of my sister, and this is what that rock is. It's just Billy's tattoo, or not, Billy's mark on his wrist drawn, or Billy's theme on a rock. I think that's pretty nice. It's also rainbow, so I have no idea what that means. I just drew because I just painted it on a rock because I was like, oh, rainbow looks cool. It's not like Billy and Todd were in a gay relationship or anything. It's not that, guys. Trust me. No, they literally weren't. Okay, they had their own wives and kids. So, like Todd got up with a really hot truck driver woman, and then Billy got with some punk goth baddie or something. I don't remember, man. It was a long time ago. We made those schizo comics, but it was nice. But yeah, I enjoyed those times drawing with my sister and all that. As horrible as much as those comics would be abhorrent to read now, because we were all young and weird and just attention starved kids, I guess. So yeah, those comics would be horrible to read right now. But they're still comics, and we're still making stories, and we weren't playing video games every day. So I think that was a good part of it. I know my sister definitely played a lot more games than I did. I know her favorite game when we were in that house was actually Overwatch. She loved that game a lot, which was understandable. The second game is obviously dog shit, so, but that's like her favorite game of all time. Her favorite and hate. It's like me with the Binding of Isaac. I absolutely hate the Binding of Isaac, but I also love it because it's like holds near and dear to my heart. But playing some runs, like in my previous video, that was just horrible. I mean, it just went so horribly. It was like, oh, that's so cool, man. I love the Binding of Isaac Repentance. That's the same thing with my sister in Overwatch. She loves the game, but when she has a bad match, she has a bad match, But that's just how it is with a game that you love so much. You gotta experience the lows to really experience the highs. Oh no! I drew the eyes wrong. I forgot that her eyes were different, and then I drew her. I draw her like that. Oopsies. Yeah, I kind of replaced her eyes with Tom's. Tom's has the tall, weird eyes. Cause he has the dead, weird ones. There we go. That's a lot better. And then she has it's the same shape, just flipped horizontally. There we go. That's a lot better. Yep, that's what she looks like in the old ones as well. Oh, she looks a little goofy there. Hang on. But yeah, it goes to show how long I've been drawing for. As much as I haven't been doing it now because I've been busy with work and all that, but getting back into it with these art videos is definitely something. It definitely feels really, really good, and just to talk about it all as well. I'll draw the boxes around Mr. over here. I should be nearly done, actually. It's gonna look very simple, but again, I'm gonna touch it up and then show you guys what the finished thing looks like after I'm done. That was a horrible bridging moment. Good old bridging. I love bridging, guys. Let me know in the comments if you like it when your pencil bridges. See, it did it again. It did it again. Oh, I love bridging. Can you stop bridging, bro? Me when I bridge to my homies. Straight up bridging it. There we go. That looks better. Just trying to make props for each of the characters so that looks nicer. And each have their own style. Alright, I think that's nearly it. There you go. There's the three of them just nice and outlined, and they all look very weird in perspective, but I will fix it. I hope I talked about enough today, because I feel like I did a fair amount of drawing and talking, but I think it was a good balance. This was just a very cozy moment, and I'm pretty eepy, so I'm cozy maxing right now. But here's the three of them. This time I will touch them up. So we got Ivan there, carrying the knife. Ooh, wow. Yeah, hold up that right next to your candle. Good idea. Good idea. So we got Ivan with his knife and no eyes because he got stabbed, remember? And then we have the lady carrying the pair of scissors. And then we have her dead brother. Technically, the lady's also dead, but I drew her alive. And then we have her brother dead in the basement with all the cardboard boxes. That's the three of them there. YouTube, don't blow me up. Thank you. I will, because the thing is about the characters is that the other style is that they're colored all in, so they're all like black silhouettes. That's the whole style. So I will probably do that, with lightly drawing, and then I'll show you like the finished product. Make it look really pretty. Yeah, this was just I guess another video. Stretch. I think the next thing I'm going to draw is the demon guy. That was talking about my last video about how he's gonna, just he was my main he's my main guy right now. And I think I'll draw him and maybe a few of his demonic buddies, because some of them have some pretty big stories as well, but it's mainly Ammo that has the big stories, because like I mentioned, he was in a war and all this and all that, so I'll probably try to mention all that. I'll draw him. He is like one of my favorite characters to draw. He's very easy to draw, and because I drew him like over 1,000 times in the comics, so he is just very easy to draw. And maybe I can remodel him as well, because right now he looks very simple. But yeah, I like to drawing these three. It was very nice. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this series in the future, like the Ivan Carvingham series. I don't know. Like, I think I'll just either keep it the way it is, or maybe turn into some sort of novel, or maybe a film. I don't know. We'll see. I guess we'll just see. But I would say my passion for this is like 59%. But my passion for doing comics is a little more than that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching the video. I just have more props here I could yap about, but it's been an hour 40. Nearly finished recording, so I gave you some sleep too, because I got eepy. I got very eepy. But it's been a cozy day, and I'm very relaxed knowing that I solved the Thanksgiving dilemma and all this and all that. So, but I do have work tomorrow, so I should get some rest. But thank you guys. Thank you guys for watching. If you made it to the end of this video, again, I guess just subscribe, put a like on the video, do whatever the hell you want, and I will see you guys in the next art video, and I will be drawing the demon guy, Ammo Gara. So that'll be fun. Well, I mean, I'll see you in the next video, which will be an Isaac video. And I think what I'm gonna do for that one is gonna be a delete this run. So that's gonna be interesting. That's actually gonna be very interesting. I might die a lot more than the Azazel challenge one, but I mean, we shall see. You never know. You never know with delete this. It's getting all random. So I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Catch you later. Bye bye.